So now that we've got the yard cleaned up, I've got to get back on this project. The next thing I'm going to do here is just get everything cleaned up, and then we're going to start taking this little shed here apart.
You left for the road, then you came back home. Why'd you let me go, when all I have you know? Time they say will heal, but only if you're still. You keep below the till. All men who think they're real. You gotta find it, don't you hide it. You don't need to remind me. You gotta feel it, don't you steal it. You don't need all the deals then.
So yesterday was kind of a crappy day, so we took the day off. I spent the day working on videos for you folks. So today we're back at this project here. So the next thing I've got to do is I got to get this thing torn up and ripped apart. Given how old this is, it's kind of amazing I can even find the screw holes. So the reason I didn't want to just take my chainsaw and just cut this thing up and throw it in the fire pit is because, so these 2x4s are all pressure treated. And that is the one thing we don't have here on the homestead is pressure treated 2x4s. All of our lumber comes from a neighbor and it's all rough cut. So with us building our garden beds this year, I'm going to reuse all of these 2x4s with our garden beds. Now Jen has been hounding me to build her some garden beds, and all that big stack of cedar planks that we got, that's her garden beds. These 2x4s are going to be what we use to keep everything together.
Hey folks, so I am about to make some rolls for dinner tonight. We're gonna have some sloppy joes. I started using this new recipe just a few days ago, And it's a little fluffier than my last bread recipe that I was using. So I'm gonna try to make some rolls out of this. So far in my bowl, I have put 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and I'm about to put a teaspoon of salt, mix it up, and set it aside. So in my cup here, I have put 1 cup of warm water, not too hot, you don't want to kill the yeast. I put 3 teaspoons of yeast, and I put 2 tablespoons of honey. I like to use honey versus the sugar, but you can use sugar in its place. Now I'm gonna set it aside for about 10 minutes and let it bloom. Now that I've let it bloom for about 10 minutes, I'm going to add the yeasty mixture to my dry. So I've added the yeasty water to the flour. I also added 1 egg. Now instead of the egg, you can use a 1/4 cup of olive oil, but I used the egg. Now I'm going to mix it up. So my parents were kind enough to get us a KitchenAid blender to help with my making dough for the bread. Now the KitchenAid came with this coated dough hook, and I didn't really like the coated dough hook. So my parents got me a stainless steel one, an aftermarket. Now I have found when I'm using this, the dough starts to creep up the dough hook and get into the motor area. So I came up with a solution. So Jason helped me out with this. We took an old coffee can lid, trimmed it up, put a hole in it, fed it over the dough hook, and we took a little O-ring and we push it down on there to hold this in place. I also put a little olive oil on here so the dough, if it does come up, it doesn't stick to the lid. And it seems to do a magnificent job. So as you can see, it stopped the dough from creeping up, stayed down in the bowl. What had happened the first time was the dough got all the way up into here, and I had to stop it and push it back down several times during the mixing and kneading. But I basically let it mix. Once it was done mixing, I let it continue to knead it for about 5 minutes. So now I am going to cover it and let it rise for 3 hours. So it has been 3 hours and my dough has risen. So now the fun part, punch it down. So I put a little flour on my surface. I'm going to get all my dough out. I'm going to cut this into 6 pieces. So I will have 6 dinner rolls. Now I've already buttered my pans. I'm going to put 3 in each pan because after I am done forming these, they are going to rise for another hour. So there's my 6 rolls. I'm gonna cover it up with plastic wrap. And that is where they will sit for another hour to do some more rising.
Okay, so we have now gotten rid of the old shed, the old wood shed here. We've finished all of our groundwork. It's about as level as I need it to be. Really the next step here is to go and get all of the lumber because I'm going to build the outside wall here. I'm going to at least get it framed out. I've got to, once I get it framed, then I'm going to figure out my footings and so forth. I'm probably going to do something similar to what I did on the other side, and that is use 6x6s. But since I don't have 6x6s, I do have cinder blocks. So we'll probably just lay cinder blocks along the side and stand that wall up on top of those. I'm not really sure yet, again, how I'm going to do that, but I know I need to get this wall framed out. Now, the type of wall we're going to build is basically a 2x4 with rough cuts, just a normal 24 on center framed out wall. So, yeah. I just gotta go get the lumber.
Okay, they have been rising for an additional hour, and this is what they look like. Those are gonna be some pretty big rolls. So I'm gonna put them in the oven. Oven's been heating up, so it's heated up to 350. They're gonna cook for 20 minutes. After the 20 minutes, I'm gonna take them out, brush them with some butter, back in for about another 5 minutes, and we'll see how things look. So they just finished their 20 minutes. So I'm gonna put a little bit of butter on top. And back in the oven they'll go. Which one do you want?
I want the big one. There's only one real big one, yeah.
All right. So they're nice and soft. Look at that.
Wow. That's insane. Look at these. Beautiful.
Now we need to see if they hold up with the Sloppy Joe.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Here we go. Sloppy Joe time. I wish I could tell you this is moose meat, but it's not. Look at that perfect sloppy Joe. All right. So, you ready?
We're ready.
Okay, here we go. Bon appetit. It's delicious. I can see eating burgers, hot dogs, all of the above. That's really good.
I guess we don't get to buy buns anymore.
Nope, no more buns.
Do I get a thumbs up?
2 thumbs up.